Halloween has finally come once again. The time of spooky, scary skeletons. The night of terrible tales of terror. And not to mention the fact that we get candy! Forgot to take the wrappers off. That's right, Delmar. And not to mention watching all your favorite classic Hollywood films, like the Halloween tree! I hope I'm not the only one who actually remembers this, because I would feel old and yet I just feel old. Yeah, I remember that. Don't worry. Oh, pizza's here. Well, aren't you just precious, Delmy? Look at you. You have such a lovely cheap costume. All you did was just get a $7 mask and then wear a jacket that you probably casually wear time to time. And I mean, hey, Winston, come here. You gotta take a look at this cheap costume that this guy made.
I have a review request.
Oh, you're a fan then. Okay, then, well, what's your request? What type of game would you like me to review for you?
You are to review a game from Rareware of the Microsoft era. Oh, and I brought you a pizza.
Thanks. Even though I think this is quesadillas, I'm not gonna complain. Anyway, what type of game from the Rareware Microsoft era are you wanting me to talk about?
Any Rareware game from the Xbox system.
My gosh. That means I can talk about Grabbed by the Ghoulies, which is one of my favorite games on the original Xbox!
What?
Hey fellas, you remember Grabbed by the Ghoulies? Oh yes, I remember. Sid, do you remember Grabbed by the Ghoulies?
Well, of course I remember Grabbed by the Ghoulies. Garth, do you remember Grabbed by the Ghoulies?
Nope.
Well, screw you then. Did I say screw you? No, I mean, don't screw you, yeah.
Wait, no, that's not what I meant! Don't care, bye!
You forgot to pay me.
Oh, right. Here's your payment. Stupid! Get off! Get off my yard! Get off! Go, scram! The bill's on you, Franca! Now, what was I at again? Oh yeah! Let's go play Grabbed by the Ghoulies! Yeah!
Oh, remember Butt Ugly Martians?
No, I seriously don't remember, dude.
Oh, come on, you all know this one. I think the theme song goes like, we are the Martians, the Butt Ugly Martians, we are You know, after just singing that, it made me realize I had a very odd life.
Hello and welcome everyone to the Marr Show. Most people will tell you that Rareware games that are made on Microsoft systems aren't exactly as good as the ones made on Nintendo consoles. And to be fair, they're kind of right, because when some people think of Rareware games on, like, say, on the Xbox 360 or even the original Xbox, they say they're not bad per se, but not as good compared to, like, Banjo-Kazooie, Battletoads, and etc. But to be fair, there's one title out there that I think is underrated in some cases. A Rareware game that I think has a lot of charm to it, and I think some people should at least give it a try and play. And that game is Grabbed by the Ghoulies. I will say one thing before I go into this. I didn't really play a ton of scary games. I mean, the scariest game I played during my youth was probably Luigi's Mansion, but it wasn't really that scary, but it has such a spooky atmosphere that kind of kept me away from playing it because it was just so too dark and spooky. I know, embarrassing now because Luigi's Mansion is one of my favorite GameCube games, but that was me back then. I was a poor, young, innocent lad. But Grabbed by the Ghoulies I actually thought wasn't really that scary compared to it, and I loved playing this game to heck. I mean, granted, I didn't beat it all the way when I was a kid, but now after officially beating it, I think it's a fun game. I'm not gonna say it's a masterpiece, one of the best Rareware games out there, but I mean, I still think it should be worthily mentioned as a good Rareware title that was released on the Microsoft Xbox, or the original one. This was like the first one they made when they got transferred over to Microsoft. The story starts out as two kids, Cooper and Amber, are looking for a place to seek shelter for the night. They come across a mansion which happens to be a home of Baron von Ghoul. He sees the two coming towards his mansion and orders his gargoyles to retrieve them. Amber is kidnapped by the ghouls and Cooper runs into the mansion to save her. So your goal is very simple. Save Amber while exploring the mansion. But you're not in this alone. You got several folks to help you out who also works in the mansion, such as Cravens, the mansion's butler, and Masupswill, the cook, among other characters you'll meet. Now, one thing I do want to mention about the game are the controls for it. Now, I mean, they're fine, they're simple, intuitive, and stuff. The camera work may not be the best, but it works well. Now, I want to ask you a question to whoever has not played Grab by the Ghoulies. Which of these buttons do you press to punch them? To punch the ghouls and stuff? If you guess the right analog stick, you are correct. That is literally how you punch people. You go into a direction, while playing as Cooper, you go and just punch someone. It'll do it automatically. And if an enemy's behind you and you're like facing that way, you could like use it to kick them backwards and stuff. And it's awkward at first, but honestly, it flows well with the gameplay. I mean, I wouldn't recommend using this for any other game, but for Grab by the Ghoulies, it works well because honestly, Rareware did intend to make this game much simpler for people to pick up and play. In fact, the game was even nominated for several family awards, which shows you they just wanted to make a simple game. And I mean, I will admit, the game isn't like the hardest game ever. Now, later on for the game, it does get kind of challenging and will make you want to pull your hair out, but for what it is, it's like a simple family fun game, and I guess they wanted to simplify it with the controls by making this punch instead of just like using different combinations of buttons to like punch people. It's odd, but it works in my opinion. And the gameplay is very simple. It's definitely much simpler compared to other Rareware titles, but I think it makes it stand out the most. The main game consists of entering the room in a mansion, completing the task, and once beaten, you can proceed to the next area. There are 50 rooms total, but basically you go around it several times, so there's like 100 levels in a game, which sounds a lot, but a lot of them can be easily completed and don't take too much time really. Most rooms will have a challenge icon that will tell you what the task will be. Some of these icons includes a gravestone, meaning defeat all the enemies in the room. A key will mean to yuck around the area, damaging some boxes and beating up some enemies to find a hidden key in the room. Simple, but there is a catch. You see, if you somehow break a rule, meaning like say you attack a type of enemy that you weren't supposed to hit or kill, or if you exceed the time limit, this Grim Reaper ghoul will appear. Once it does, throughout this whole area until you beat all the enemies or complete the task at hand, it will follow you around, and if the Grim Reaper touches you, it's an insta-kill. This guy gave me chills as a kid because there was no way of beating him, and there were some parts that as a kid I did get stuck on, and when that Grim Reaper showed up, I knew it was game over there because there was no way to stop him. That was until after I played it for my first time after years, I discovered that you can actually use weapons to knock the Grim Reaper off. It doesn't kill him, but it does hold him back some, and I will say that kicking the Grim Reaper definitely helped me relieve of my childhood evilness. Oh yes. It feels so satisfying just beating the crap out of that Grim Reaper. Oh, it just feels so good. Most of the ghouls that you fight are your typical enemies, such as zombies, imps, and mummies, but you also got some interesting enemies as well, such as a haunted TV, picture frames, pirates, which may or may not be a reference to Project Dream, I don't know. Most of them can be easily knocked out by just punching them. However, you also have some weapons that you can use, such as hamburgers and swordfish. And of course, there are also some special weapons as well. The visual style is very simplistic, but actually works pretty well. The cel shaded style works well with the game, giving it a whole spooky atmosphere. It's not the most eye-popping Rareware game, but it does a good job to give its own personality, and some of the animations are pretty fun to look at. The The music is composed by legendary game composer Grant Kirkhope, who does a fantastic job with the OST. It's spooky, airy, but also it's fun and it's perfect to play during Halloween. I don't really have too much to complain about this game. I mean, is it too easy in some spots? Well, yeah. And not to mention, if you play this game for like an extremely long time, for like 3+ hours, the game will get a little bit boring and sometimes repetitive because most missions, I mean, there are challenges of course, but I mean, most of the time they can be easily done with and you won't have to worry too much about it. I mean, it's not the most difficult game like I said, but it will get kind of boring during long play sessions. But the other thing that I didn't like are the super scary shocks. You see, these here are short crit time events where a jump scare happens, freezing Koopa, and you have to press buttons in a certain order to help keep Koopa calm down. It's not that it's bad, but honestly, I just don't like jump scares, and it definitely kind of got old after a while. Luckily though, I wrote a song to help cheer me up.
Jump scares everywhere, hiding in the halls, roaming around at night, creeping up the walls. Jump scares everywhere by robotic dolls. They try to scare the heck out of you. And that was Grabbed by the Ghoulies. Honestly, to be fair, I wish more people would talk about this because I think it's a good game. Is it a masterpiece compared to Banjo-Kazooie or GoldenEye, Donkey Kong Country, and etc.? I probably wouldn't go as far to say that. I mean, I will say I will probably put in like my top 10 favorite Rareware games, but I mean, it'll probably be a bit lower considering that it's not the most difficult game ever, and like, there's nothing like challenging. I mean, it will get kind of boring during long play sessions considering that it is simple and some of the challenges are easy, especially during the beginning sessions. And the super scary jump scare levels are not my personal favorite, but I think it's a fun game. It has a ton of personality. I love the simplicity of the game. I mean, sure, the controls you have to get used to having to punch people with the right analog stick, but I mean, it doesn't like break it or anything like that. And then we'll admit, further down the line, as you get further on to the game, the challenges do become difficult, and definitely did die quite a bit during this last few challenges, but then again, I haven't really played the ending of the game for a long time that I was kind of off guard as to what was going to be for the next last few levels as such. Plus also it just has a ton of personality, it has great funny characters and dialogue. There was plans to make a sequel for this game, being much more open-ended and less non-linear stuff. And I hope that in the future we will get a sequel to this game because I would love to see what will happen. I mean, the fact that we have the power of the Xbox One and so forth, I would love to see what new ideas they could come up with ghoulie enemies and challenges and stuff. So honestly, yeah, pick it up. I definitely recommend it. Again, I'm not going to label it as like the best Rareware game ever, but I think it deserves some more love, honestly, in my opinion, because it has a ton of charm to it. And that's all the time we have for today, folks. So, if you would like to leave your thoughts on today's game, just comment below. And if you want to get this game, it's fairly cheap. I mean, this is my original copy, but I've seen stuff go online for like $5 to $10, so it's very easy to get. However, if you have an Xbox One, the game is actually available in the Rare Replay collection, which includes 30 games of some of Rareware's best titles, and Grabbed by the Ghoulies is on there. I think it's been remastered some to be compatible with the Xbox One, so go ahead, it's only $30 and you get 30 games. I mean, some of the games on that collection are expensive, so I mean, that's a great deal. I'm actually thinking about picking it up when I do get an Xbox One because I do like that little feature. Plus, I mean, playing is a nice higher quality, so yeah, that's a good sign for me. The table is very loud, I didn't realize that. And now if you excuse me, I'm gonna go eat my quesadillas! Even though I want a pizza, but I like quesadillas, so I mean, I can't really complain there. Hey, Delma, I just thought of something. Don't you think that maybe, gee, I don't know, we should be worried about that, masked man that appeared in the front door? What do you mean? Well, I don't know, it's just that he felt kind of, how you say, I guess disappointed for reviewing a good Microsoft Rareware game. Hey, he said any Rareware Microsoft game, so that's what I did. Well, I don't know, but when you say you were gonna review something you liked
from the Rareware Microsoft era, he sounded kind of disappointed actually. Well, there's tons of people who reviewed all the bad Rareware games, so I mean, why does he want me? I mean, my opinion doesn't matter, except to like maybe 2 people probably, so I don't know why he would want me to do that. I don't know, maybe we should still keep our eyes peeled in case he comes back or is planning to do something with us. Oh, come on. Why would someone want me to review bad games anyway? I mean, there's plenty of people to do that. What makes me so dang special?
I may have failed this time, but soon, very soon, I will anger him. I will have his fury. I will destroy his kind nature.
Hey, keep it down in there. Some people are trying to sleep out here, you know?
Tommy!
Oh. Hey guys, thanks for watching my Grabbed by the Ghoulies review. It's been a review that I've been wanting to do for the past 2 years, but I couldn't really find a way to do it, or it just kept getting pushed back by other reviews. So I'm finally happy to talk about a pretty underrated game in my opinion. So what do you guys think of the game? And if you somehow do have the game, or if you played it on the Where We Play, do you know if there's any differences, like if it's cleaner than the Xbox version or anything like that? Just let me know, because I do plan on getting an Xbox One and doing a playthrough of it or something, so yeah. Anyway, if you want to check out the next 2 videos, you can click here to see the letter review that I did 2 years ago, and then you can click here to see the latest Marr Show episode of my thoughts on the Wii U. And yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. So yeah. Oh, do you guys want some? It's not delivery, I can promise you that, so it's not gonna be cold, it's fresh out of the oven.